Hello everyone, Planty and John here.
Hi guys, we've got a massive announcement to make. We're doing our first live show this year. What films are we talking about?
2001's Shrek, John. The OG.
Ah, the OG. R.E.
Very good. Yes, indeed. It's an all-ages show at Carlisle Megacon on August 17th, which is Carlisle's premier nerd gathering with over 40 stalls, gaming, cosplay, and really handsome podcasters.
Do I have to watch my language then?
Nah, it's fine, mate. There'll be other Scottish people there. We'll get subtitles for the English.
That's Megacon at Richard Rose Academy, Carlisle, on the 17th of August from 12 noon. It's £5 a ticket, and that includes seeing Beautiful Us.
Oh, and my brilliant Scottish accent. Ugh, donkey!
Aye, right. Jesus Christ. Hi guys, on this show we're looking at Roberts, Aitkins, Coote, Maud, Attenborough, Byron, Hunter and Niven. It's 1946's A Matter of Life and Death.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of 100 Things We Learned from Film. I'm one of your hosts, my name's Planty, and I am Pretty John.
And I'm the other guy, and I'm the dying co-pilot.
Oh, Bob. Bob's one of my favourite characters in this, by the way.
It's Bob.
Bob.
Pronounce a B, big man. Bob.
Not to be confused with Bob out of...
No, Flash Art's piece of ass.
New shoes. Again, references for nobody. References to people who like TV from the 80s. And if you like TV from the 80s, you're going to fucking hate this. We're the podcast that tries to learn 100 things from every film that we talk about. And this week it's a patron's choice. And we have got that patron with us on the air, which is fantastic. Welcome to the podcast. It's not Dan, it's Gavin Belson.
Hello, boys.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's the normal one, Custicosm. It's the normal one.
I'll take it.
Not wrong. Last time I saw you were on a slide.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Brewdog in Waterloo. We can't got Brewdog now, because not only are they sexist, but it turns out today they're also racist. So if anybody wants a couple of shares in Brewdog, let me know. They're going very, very cheap. You're welcome to them. You can get a discount in their bars, which I am never going in again. There you go.
Wow, Jesus.
I know, and you know what? That's a big thing for me.
Back to Weatherspoons for you, big man. Back to Weatherspoons for you. The long walk to the toilet.
It's not much. In fact, it's one door down to Weatherspoons from Brewdog as well. You know.
I know.
In Carlisle.
Brewdog.
So yeah. So there is that. We're just going to have to rely on West Walls Brewery opening on Saturday and going to that instead. Look at that, free advertising for Carlisle things. Yeah. Anyway, welcome Gavin to your very own episode based around your very own film. But for those as if they don't know, because you've been on before and your brother's been on, what's your podcast?
So we are Be There With Belson, out every Monday evening, UK time. It's hard to explain what we are. It's just, we're brothers. We talk about what's been going on with us. Dan's been getting into the dating apps recently, which has given us some interesting material. We go through some various stories we found. Dan makes up a quiz that's impossible to understand and then gets angry at me for not getting the answers right.
Very much like I did when you last came on this show. You couldn't tell us which firms related to which football clubs.
Yeah, I did very badly at that.
Which is interesting. I'm not going to spoil the fantastic story that you've got coming up this week, I assume, when Dan talks about who he was golfing with, kind of. I'm not because I'm not around. Well, I'm dog sitting this week, which is why there may be howls or barks in between all of this. I've not seen much of him, so I'm waiting to hear the whole story on that one as well. Yeah, me too. It's very exciting. Tune in to Be There With Belson. The same day this is coming out, as long as I get my shit together.
Spill the tea. Spill the tea. There you go, as a golfing joke. Spill the tea.
Oh, very good. Yeah, look at that.
Here's that for the show.
Right, tell us what you bought.
I've brought A Matter of Life and Death. I should explain why, really, shouldn't I?
You should.
Yes,
you should
please.
explain yourself.
Please.
So, one, I wanted it to be, the one I would have chosen before was one that I did suggest to you, and you did it with somebody else way back when, which was The Princess Bride, when I did that somehow really bizarre.
Hello, my name's Gavin.
No idea how I managed to record it like that, but so I needed something else. And I genuinely do like this film. And I came across it when I was doing media studies.
A fellow media studies wanker.
Yeah. And I just like it. So I thought it's not going to be one that... I mean, my other options were always going to be... I like slightly odd films. And I keep saying about this French one that's called Love Me If You Dare. But I thought that's too much if I go, let's do a film in French.
One day we are going to do A Town Called Panic, so yeah, absolutely.
Is it risky?
There's a little bits. There's little bits.
Is it up there with Betty Blue?
Baguette.
As a media studies student, I guarantee you watch that.
I have seen
watching
that,
Betty Blue with a poster on the walls and the blue walls. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Anyway. Fantastic. Yeah, certainly was a film.
No, it's one of Michael Sheen's favourites, apparently.
Oh, this is? That's funny because he's in it.
Oh, back in the day.
He's kind of in it, or at least I thought it was Michael Sheen when I first saw it.
It's also Daniel Radcliffe as well, named it as one
Fucking
of
hell,
his
stop
favourite
coming up with all these facts at the start of the movie before we've even done the premise. There you go. So you're in good company, if nothing else. John, 1946. In spite of the fact I'm obsessed with it being 1947. What else could we have been talking about?
There's some bangers here. There's some bangers.
Is there?
So there's Great Expectations.
All right. Okay.
Beauty and the Beast.
With Ron Perlman.
Yeah, is that old?
Sarah Connor.
The Big Sleep. Sarah Connor. The Postman Always Rings Twice, and we'll end on a high. Green for Danger. There you go.
Green for Danger.
Green for Danger.
What's the premise of Green for Danger? Is it down on the links?
It just comes up during the German bombing raids, and I'm like, right, I don't know.
I'm out.
That's enough.
Yeah, war films.
Aye.
I mean, you say Great Expectations. It just always reminds me of that Hot Shots joke where he's reading it on the plane before they jump on, and then it's like, what are you reading? Great Expectations. Oh, how is it? Not all I hoped.
Not all I hoped. Yeah, that's a great gag. Previous episode. So. If you like what we do and you fancy getting a shot at having us watch whatever shite you want, then you can do so by giving us £1 a month. We'll also insult you to fuck, apparently, whether you're on the podcast or not. So that will do so. So join us there at patreon.com/100things, or you can go and find all our links at 100thingswelearnfromfilm.co.uk, and everything that we do is there. Okay. Somebody else will get in a spin on the wheel in the next kind of 24-48 hours when I can figure that out for July. And I know this is coming out on the 1st of July, but this is technically the June choice. It's just that I'm a very busy man. Aren't we all? Ain't everybody? Shall we get started, gentlemen?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Okay. So somewhere here in my notes are some further notes. There we go. So we open. It's a J. Arthur Rank film, which I was kind of into. Arthur Rank. That's Lord Rank to you.
Lord Rank.
His family were flour millers, and he tried his hand at the family business but failed. But luckily for him, he inherited Joseph Rank Limited, which is now known as Rank Hovis McDougall.
There you go.
Which sounds like 3 surnames, doesn't it? In 1938, Rank bought Odeon Cinemas and Pinewood Film Studios the year after, 1939. Now, some really boring media studies film facts for you, especially for Gavin. Rank developed the special prism needed to make the sodium vapour process in film matte special effects technique work. This method used amber light to mask images so that it would be placed over a different background. The prism caused light to be split into 2 beams, where 2 film strips would record the same image on both black and white and colour film. There were only 3 of these prisms ever made, and they were licensed by Rank for use by Walt Disney Studios. The process was first used in the 1964 film Mary Poppins, and since it had superior colour and blur allowances. The last known film to use this process was the absolute fucking stinker 1990's Dick Tracy.
Oh, God.
Not a future episode, because I think it's about 4 hours long.
Aye. Yeah.
And might have been the film that retired Warren Beatty. I'm pretty sure it did. And Madonna. Ugh, Jesus. The Gong Man, because obviously the Arthur Rank Gong Man, the term the Gong Man is a registered trademark, which means John can't use it for his Magic Mike XL style shows that he wants to do. He has to call himself the Dong Man.
Gong in 60 seconds, merely.
Very good.
Dong.
The gong is a prop. It is papier-mâché. Oh, boo. And the gong sound was superimposed on. The first Gong Man was Carl Dane, a circus strongman who was paid a one-time fee by General Film Distributors. There you go. One last fact on the Gong Man. The Rank Group, in 1996, announced a nationwide competition to find a new Gong Man for the 21st century. Stop saying Gong Man. Chris Rowley from Stoke-on-Trent won the competition and is now the new official Rank Gong Man, or at the time was... He's from Stoke-on-Trent. I mean, I can't imagine he's that...
Nah, no, it's not that.
It's like the lad, rice cake as a fish. Fish is a rice cake. It's like him. I'm sure he's from Stoke.
At least it's a non-speaking role.
I guess so, yeah. Alright, okay. Yeah, sorry. Loads and loads of stuff here. So we start with this opening scroll. This is a story of two worlds. The one we know and another which exists only in the mind of a young airman, whose life and imagination have been violently shaped by war. Any resemblance to any other world, known or unknown, is purely coincidental. And it was at this point I went, is this a comedy? Question mark. And at the very end, when the titles roll, when the credits rolled, I had to ask myself, is this a comedy? Question mark. Because I don't know. As a lover of media, John, first of all, I'll ask you, is it a comedy?
It's uplifting, but...
That'll be that escalator.
aye, pretty much.
Gavin, as a man of film letters, is it a comedy?
I mean, there's jokes throughout it, so yeah, possibly.
Okay.
Like, can you miss it?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Subtle jokes.
Highbrow jokes. Highbrow.
I'll go with that. Eyelid jokes. More on that shortly. We start with this narration going across the universe, which I didn't do. It's talking about various different things that are there, including a nova. A nova is a transient astronomical event that causes the sudden appearance of a bright, apparently new star. Kind of a reference to Nova coming up. Really kind of like strange reference.
So that's Latin, isn't it, Nova, for new star?
Is it really?
Aye, that's what it means.
Look at you. That's good. That's highbrow. That's highbrow facts.
I had Latin in Bellhouston Academy, big man. No.
Yeah, you have to have at least a basic grasp of Latin to rob curries.
Aye, exactly. Aye. Just need to read what's on the side of the £1 coins.
When it gets to the Earth, it's really fucking green.
It's green.
This Earth. I was like, what is this?
Jesus.
Like, I know global warming's fucking the planet, but I didn't realise it was doing it quite so quickly. There's literally no sea. It's just a green ball. Do you think at this point this is what we thought it looked like?
Aye,
because we've not seen any photographs from space?
That's a good point.
Or is it just done on the cheap? At DMP Studios London.
Well, it was Technicolor, wasn't it? So who knows?
It was in Technicolor.
That no longer exists. I double checked.
Hey! That's not going to be our last. It no longer exists. I got a feeling. It's the 2nd of May, 1945, and it's a foggy night. 1945, 2nd of May 1945. What happened? The Battle of Berlin was won by our Soviet overlords. And the Admiral Donitz Flensburg government was formed. There you go.
Was that no in
northern Germany? I know because Carlisle City was once twinned with Flensburg.
Hiroshima, was that no 1945 as well?
Probably was, but certainly not the 2nd of May, according to the internet.
Well,
something about a flag being put on top of the Reichstag building, but we've all seen that picture. We end up with this radio operator and a chap in a crashing plane. It's Kim Hunter on the radio and David Niven as the airman.
Mm-hmm.
Kim Hunter, of course, we know from
Gladiators.
Gladiator. He sold me gay giraffes. No, she's Zira in Planet of the Apes.
Oh, you've ever made to know that?
I mean, she doesn't look the same, not in the monkey makeup, I'll give you that.
No reason.
Why don't you?
No reason it was not Roddy McDowell's because of his bloody voice.
Will you kiss me? But you're so damn ugly. Right, so we learn the crew all jumped, except for Peter and his electrician Bob, who died. And at this point I thought, Bob's got the best role because he just lies there and does now. But it turns out Bob's actually pivotal to the film.
He's in it a lot.
He don't half ramble on, and I've got to be honest with you.
Sorry, was he an electrician?
He was an electrician, yeah, he was the Sparks.
Yeah, but I thought
he was my
Sparks. I thought
Sparks.
Sparks meant something else in their life.
Does it?
I must have picked that up wrong.
Oh, maybe not then. Maybe. Well, look, hey, what do I know? Apparently, that's one of the non-100 things we've got.
Oh no, it's a Sparks badge. Sparks badge was the Airman's authority to approach an officer, so they couldn't speak to officers unless they had this Sparks badge. But I don't know about the same thing.
Literally, this squadron ain't big enough for the both of us.
There's a thing that about that when he's rambling on and he says he's 27.
Ooh, yeah, and I was like, fucking hell, and I'm 27.
He was 36.
He was indeed. I also had that hard paper round.
And she's 24 when this was made.
Oh right, okay.
So 12 years difference.
Yeah, it's not arrestable stuff, but it's not far off. He done half ramble on, and I've got to be honest, when I first put this on, and actually the second time I watched it as well, doing second lot notes, this bit really put me off the character. This bit made me really dislike the character, and then you kind of come round to him because he stops banging on about nonsense, poems and stuff like that, and you kind of realise why he does the poem thing later on. He says, I've got a message from my mother, 88 Hampstead Lane, London. Tell her that I love her, and my sisters too. And you kind of okay, great, fantastic. I looked up the address, and according to a blog that was done by Philip Edward Johnson in 2008, 88 Hampstead Place, North London, it no longer exists. According to the blog, where that house would have been is now the council tip.
Wow.
Road. Yeah. Which, it's not bad enough that her son almost died in a plane crash. But now she lives in. Now she's Stig of the dump.
Stig's our neighbour.
On this thing, he says he's flying in a Lancaster.
He does.
So the 2nd of May, 1945, was Bomber Command's last raid on Germany.
Ooh.
It was on Kiel, and the plan was to stop the Nazis fleeing to Norway, which they thought they might do for one last stand. They flew from Dowmarket, which apparently is in Norfolk. I don't know. But they flew Mosquito bombers.
Right.
So there's your time for your catchphrase.
Oh, it no longer exists.
No.
Why must films lie to us?
Why must films lie to us? Why must films lie to us? Sorry, it's been a hell of a week.
Even I.
Right, yeah, John always picks it up when I don't.
I was laughing about to say it when you said that.
Other things on that, 15 crew died on that raid.
Okay. Cheering.
Apparently, from what I saw, one plane got shot and crashed into another plane or something like that.
Fucking hell. I mean, what are the odds of that?
No. Happens all the time.
But yeah. And then, like you say, all the other people have bailed out. Mm-hmm. But he's still there chatting away. Giving the Passionate Man's Pilgrimage by Sir Walter Raleigh is the poem.
Sure. Absolutely. And know loads about English poets. Loads. It's something I have very little interest in. Maybe I should read more. The Lancaster bomber was the most successful. I've written here boober in WW2. Just goes to show what's on my mind.
Get them out.
It could reach a maximum speed of 280 miles per hour and a ceiling of 24,500 feet.
Oof.
And it could carry a 14,000 pound bomb load to a range of 1,600 miles at 200 miles per hour. There you go. Thank you very much for Encyclopedia Britannica Online. I mean, if I'd known that existed, I don't know, 4 years ago, I'd have started using it then.
You'd have left Wiki, wouldn't you?
Me and Wiki are on the outs, baby. He's going to jump, but I don't have a chute. Are you pretty, June? A bit. Fucking hell. She says, do you love anybody? And she's like, I could love a man like you, Peter. She's kind of American, but she's proper like 40s transatlantic American, isn't she?
Yeah.
It says at Cary Grant. She tells him she's at this old house, and he says, I love this, I'll come and haunt you when I'm dead.
Oh, God.
Oh, you old fucking romantic.
Rent a ghost.
Timothy Claypole. He jumps out the hatch and into the fog. We see his body washed up on the shore the next morning. In heaven, Bob the electrician's waiting in this lobby area. Now, this is where the film brought me straight back in again, because this bit's absolutely mental.
It's bonkers, man.
People are passing through and getting their wings, including a very annoyed Frenchman,
Yep.
harmonica bloke, and Dickie Attenborough.
Oh, Dickie, aye. Oh, dear.
Little baby Dickie Attenborough. Which I assume he's got his own personal heaven, because he spared no expense.
Exactly, aye. Fucking raptors up there.
Clever girl. Is there not a French language heaven for this man? Because the bloke that he's with is British, and he's like, terrible show, old boy.
He's talking with him.
Yeah, I like the fact that he speaks to him in French and he talks to him like back in English, like he completely understands him. It's like there's no languages. I like that.
Universal translator.
Although the interesting thing is, old Richard Attenborough there, he says this is heaven, isn't it? And he's the only one who ever says anything about it being heaven.
Oh right, okay. Do you think he was just dropped in at the last moment? Thrown into this,
just friends of people,
we'll
isn't
have
he?
this baby-faced 25-year-old. All right, okay. Yeah, you're right, because I've written it's heaven loads of times, but actually you're right. It's just kind of like some fucking lobby, isn't it? It's like the bit in Home Alone where fucking Kevin McAllister asks Donald Trump, but of course Donald Trump won't be in heaven, which leads me to think this could be hell, because that loud harmonica and the angry shouting Frenchman. Oh, and here come a bunch of loud, noisy Americans. I think it's probably hell. Drinking Coca-Cola from a vending machine that wasn't there a second ago, and demanding rooms.
And bigger wings.
Hey, look at me! I'm giving out wings. We will do It's a Wonderful Life one day. We really will. He comes in and he says, "Hey, do you have USO shows up here?" She says, "No, we don't." "Well, then we'll stay." And I'm like, "You ungrateful bastard!" You know, those hard-working singers and actors and comedians coming over to hellholes like, oh, I don't know, Stroud, to entertain you. USO shows, of course, United Service Organisation, founded in 1941, and is volunteer support for US troops overseas. In Afghanistan and Iraq wars, most recently, podcast faves, John, Gary Sinise,
what?
Robin Williams, and, checks notes, Jessica Simpson.
Oh, Daisy Duke.
She enjoyed some tins of the chicken of the sea.
Chicken of the sea. Happy
Again? Yeah. Oh, buffalo wings as well. Are they chicken or are they buffaloes? Man, I watched far too much of that Newlyweds show when that was MTV was like, because I think I watched Newlyweds ready for Jackass coming on.
Aye.
I think it was one of those Newlyweds and then the Osbournes. Mm-hmm. You know, I think it was kind of what a heady time it was to be alive in the early 2000s, gentlemen. Eh?
Jesus, privilege,
and to be able to afford Sky, of course. Not anymore.
We got it free for the council.
There's this angel boss woman. She's got she's got Statue of Liberty hair. I know that much. I don't know what's gone on with this fucking drag back of hair. She speaks to him and explains he has to go in, but he's waiting for Peter. She shows him that the Clarks are all working away below them. This thing, they look out of this window thing, window thing on the floor. It's just a massive hole, and obviously he's already dead, so you can't die by falling down there, I assume. When you die in heaven, you die in real life. Yeah. Back to that again. And it's basically a model. It's like, you want to be a big angel? Why don't you fuck off down the model village? She explains to Bob they don't make mistakes and that Peter isn't coming. If there was a mistake, all the bells and the alarms would go off, and then all of a sudden, this cacophony of fucking bells goes off. Back on Earth, Peter comes to and walks up the beach until he finds a dog. He's certain he's in heaven. I always hoped there would be dogs. It's you, Gavin. I think you've always hoped there would be dogs in heaven. And as we know, all dogs do go to heaven. Even the shitty ones when they help children or something. Is that what that film was about? Did they help an orphan child? All I know is Dom DeLuise and I was going to say Burt Lancaster. Burt Reynolds. It wasn't Burt Lancaster. That would have been different.
I did get the dog's name was Jock.
Oh yeah, the dog was called Jock. Yeah, so that makes two of you, John.
Jock 1975. PlayStation.
What I did get was that this black lab's great grandpups are dead. That's sad, isn't it? It's a sad thing to consider. He follows this dead dog to a naked goat herd kid.
Exactly. What the hell?
Which gets a bit weird.
Playing a tin whistle, and he's like, "Where do I go? Which way do I go?" He's like, "Hey, what, Mister?
I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven.
I'm living. I would like to live deliciously, Mister." With all these goats. And he's like, "Dad, there's a big old house up there, and there's some old broad on a bike. Just follow the sands." I don't know why it's an old woman out of Monty Python sketch, but it is. The beach scene was shot at Saunton Sands in Devon, not to be confused with Sockton Sands. The kid tells him he's at Leewood House. It's where June was staying. He spots a girl on a bike and makes chase, and it's June. Oh, what's the chances of that? I know. They embrace. Back in heaven, we see that there's a discrepancy in the number of people invoiced for, which I fucking love, by the way, and the ones that are actually in heaven, and it's one different. And I just thought, you bureaucratic bastards.
We paid for their wings. Somebody's going to use them.
This dandy French lad turns up and admits that he missed Peter because the fucking accent on this, by the way. Jesus. I mean, I expected better. I thought for a second I was watching Love Me If You Dare, I'll be honest. Bob is called for and he explains what happened on the plane. So this is like the second instance we get of describing what's happened. We're going to get another two of telling us what happened. We know. We were told in the opening 5 minutes of the film. When accused of not reporting back quick enough, the dandy admits he lost his head. And then they ask, how did he die? Well, Gavin, it was the French Revolution. But how exactly did he die?
How exactly did he die? The guillotine.
Yeah, I lost my head once again. And it's
wah.
Yeah, okay. 8 out of 10 for that one. The French Revolution, of course, as we all know, history buffs that we are, 1789 to 1799, the last time the French had a revolution or something. 10 years just to turf out the royals. If I'd realised it was that long, I probably wouldn't have been advocating for it for so many years.
Yeah. Get them out.
The gaffer, or God, question mark? Is this other woman God? But she's like, I'm ethereal and I talk like this. If this film was made today, it would be Tilda Swinton, wouldn't it? I guarantee. Absolutely.
You can't have Alanis Morissette twice, can you?
No, you can't. There's rules. There's absolutely rules. Yeah. She explains that Peter's fallen in love, and this complicates things, doesn't it always? The dandy's being sent down to Earth to convince him to come back. We see him in a garden in full colour. One is starved of technicolor up there. And you're like, okay. I didn't mention, it's black and white in heaven. There you go. And he looks like dog shit when he's in colour, doesn't he? This makeup.
Horrid.
I mean, he looks like pantomime Dane. Is what he looks like.
There was that's another one of those little jokes, because there was a 9-month delay getting the film stock and the Technicolor camera, because they were all being used by the US Army for training films.
Oh, right. Oh, fantastic. Well, there's a really good documentary, a series of documentaries on Netflix called, I think 5 Came Back, I think it's called, or something like that. And it's about the directors that went to, American directors that went to war and went and filmed stuff. So you've got John Huston was one of them. It's a Wonderful Life guy was another. So it's really, really good. It's a really interesting. I'm not really all that interested in the war, but it's certainly interesting. Again, our favourite thing is films about films. This is going to end only badly with my cat trying to climb on the laptop.
Yeah,
come on then. There you go, pal. Sorry, I'm just going to make room for him. Otherwise, we won't have a podcast. Right. But yes, that's so that kind of ties in with that. In the garden, Peter and Juna are just lying around at night? Question mark in a garden or something? They're definitely shagging, aren't they?
Oh,
it's definitely what's happening.
Yeah.
They're enjoying a drink which vanishes. These little thimble things that he's pouring the drink into from the hip flask. And it turns out they've been taken by the dandy, or as he's known as, Conductor 71.
Yeah.
Or as I've written here, non-union French Michael Sheen. Kind of comes out. So he obviously looks kind of like him. When he arrives, he freezes the world around them so that Peter and he can talk. He tells Peter a message from Bob, and Bob's message is "What ho?" And Peter knows he's not making up, because apparently that's Bob's catchphrase. What an absolute fucking humour-filled guy he is.
That's the jokes. There's the jokes.
Yeah. Peter refuses to leave with the conductor because he's in love. You will see her once more once the time comes. I looked her up. She'll be 97. And I was like, all right, mate, we're all granny shaggers. Peter explains he has no intention of returning, that his circumstances have changed, and it's on him for not doing his job, the conductor. The conductor tells Peter that he will have a case to answer for in the afterlife. He leaves, but not before explaining that if he went with him, they could play chess every day. I mean, I certainly wouldn't swap, 24-year-old June for playing chess with this, I don't know, paper caked on makeup dandy. He's really annoying as well. And he doesn't get any less annoying even when, later on, spoilers, he's meant to be a goodie? No. Question mark. I don't really know. Peter returns to land of reality and tells June kind of about the conversation. You don't think I'm cracked, do you? He has a moment where his sight goes blurry and he can't find her. And I kind of didn't get what that was about. And it kind of comes back later on, but only in his left eye when looking to the left, the far left, which is my favourite place to be. He's no issue looking on the right, but then he was 36 years old in 1946, so that's kind of understandable.
Mentioning that though, he does say in his little speech that he's politics, conservative by nature, Labour by experience.
Yes, and I liked that. Obviously, I liked that a lot. I think we all did. It was good. Next day, we've got this Hilda Ogden-style housekeeper. Right, again, a reference for only people that listen to this podcast. She explains the doctor's, he's in his camera obscura, shouting the dogs.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, what? Oh, he will be pleased to see you pretty young thing. What's going on here? And this is the most mental thing, I think. Of all of the things that happen in the film, this is the most mentally normal thing. So he's got this huge fucking lens on the roof, right? I don't really know how camera obscuras work because I got busy looking up the band. Camera Obscura, the Glasgow band, Camera Obscura, instead of actually looking up Camera Obscura.
I mean, I did look up Camera Obscuras if you want.
Okay, I would love that. Thank you very much.
So, it's a room with a small hole or lens through which an image is projected onto a wall or table opposite.
All right, okay. And this is the thing. He's projecting it onto the good table from the outside. She says at some point. Oh, those poor fucking dogs. Anyway, It's really weird. He's just spying on everybody from the sky, right? And quite a queue at the butcher's. Must be some offal in. And the dog actor's reaction to the word offal is the best acting in the whole film. It's great. This little King Charles Spaniel.
I think the dogs belong to the director, right?
Oh, right. Okay. No, I didn't have that. Well done, you.
They've made a couple of appearances before. This was their last appearance.
Oh, because
what happened?
They
couldn't afford them anymore.
They're the offal now. I love this bit where he's there's old Mrs. Smith. She's fucking knackered now, or something, isn't it?
And the other one, look at
He's
that,
harsh, isn't he?
Look at that, slut dressed up for getting it.
Yeah. Oh, it's fucking biking season. I'm not going to be able to go out in the village again. It's a right miserable bastard. Up in your fucking loft, being a dick to everybody.
He's a little bit pervy. That's what.
Well, at the beginning, I thought he was awful. I thought it was horrible. But he's the hero of the movie.
Yeah.
Through the most mental, I've no idea how anybody wrote. I mean, I know they wrote a lot of films, old Powell and Pressburger, but Jesus Christ, what was this? Was this written in an opium den? Because this, Gavin, there is no doubt, and I should have said this at the top of the show. This is the craziest film we've ever watched, and we watched The Master of Disguise.
Yeah.
You know, this is madness.
It was a walk in the park compared to this.
Wow. I mean, that had for absolutely no reason President Bush Jr. in it, just turning up. This.
There's something else.
I mean, the more I think about it, the more I love it. But Jesus Christ, only as a subject for the podcast, if I'm honest. The village where they're filming this mental scene is Sheer in Surrey. Loads of films were filmed here, by the way. Bridget Jones' Edge of Reason. That's the second Bridget Jones film where she got married at the end. The Holiday, which I think, John, we should do next Christmas.
No,
you don't like The Holiday? It's a film about films, though, isn't it?
You're talking about the one with Blackjack.
Yeah, Blackjack. Yeah, the sweets.
Blackjack and Hubba Bubba.
Yeah, the kosh that you hit people with. Yeah, do you hate it?
I don't love it.
Okay, all right. It's one of Eli Wallach's last films. The Ugly, from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Some other bits and pieces, which, that'll do. June arrives.
I was going to say it's 5 miles from Guildford.
Oh right, excellent.
With a population roughly of 1,000.
Too many. They're all being watched by this creep.
I know.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on them.
Oh look, there's the Airbnb wankers from down the road.
Truman.
White Beetle. Oh, very good. Any other sheer facts?
Not really.
No.
It's one of 4 villages that make up the whatever I've written there that I can't read. So there you go. That's good, isn't it?
Doctor's writing.
The quadrology of wankers, probably. They've got two councillors on the council. Is the fact I got. One conservative, one green. So they're doing half of things right. There you go. I absolutely no idea why I wrote that one down, but facts is facts, and we're running low.
You love the council.
I love the council. I do love the council. June arrives. He claims that his diagnosis has come from spying people on the village. He's like, yes, I've diagnosed loads of people with rickets because of how I see them walk down the street. Or, I know she's got the clap because of the way that she splashes in the fountain or something. I don't know what's going on.
She, when he sees June in the camera obscura, he says, there's June. She walks in beauty like the night, which is from She Walks in Beauty by Lord Byron.
Oh, right, another one of those crusty old bastards. Shelley next.
Which apparently is, I looked that one up, is about feelings of infatuation and love struck awe at the powerful beauty of a woman.
I mean, you're not wrong that he's a pervert. Jesus Christ.
He'd have loved OnlyFans. Only obscure.
He's a published neurologist, we learn. She called ahead to tell him about Peter, and she thinks he can help. She wants not just anyone to see him, but for him to see him. He's already on it. He's got clearance from the RAF and from his commanding officer.
He's also a bit of a dick about that as well.
Yeah, he is. No. He obviously doesn't like the fact that the RAF have got a base nearby full of Yanks, does he?
Because he's very much like... Fit. Yeah, because she's like, I want you to treat him. And he's like, well, no, we'd need the RAF to say so. And he's an RAF thing. And he's like, but couldn't you get permission? He's like, I've already done it. And he's like, all right, well, don't need to be like that.
And then she kisses him, and he's like, well, if you'd done that in the first place, I'd have just fucking told you. Like, what is the exchange rate for facts in this fucking loft that you live in? Crazy pervert. Yeah, he says, so he's talking very logically. Then he can't be in love. All right, arsehole. Permanently single, but you know, old Mrs. Miggins downstairs knows where to hide the bodies. You know, when he started cracking skulls to feast on their, you know, the goo in their heads, that's when Mrs. Miggins asks, "Oh, fucking clear another one up."
Good one, I go. Get down there, get their bodies.
He agrees to come over later that day. On his way over, on his motorcycle, for some reason dressed like John Motson in the sheepskin coat.
He really wasn't he?
And he races some army lads who have to brake at a corner because that's what you do, except him on the wrong side of the road, tearing it round this bend.
Aye. What a dick.
Foreshadowing anyone?
Oh, indeed. Yeah, indeed. Fucking twat. Can't always get what you want. At the big house, the big house, the US lads are practising Midsummer Night's Dream, including this lad with this Chicago accent just fucking yelling. And for some reason, this priest, like this vicar's trying to teach him, no. Wall wasn't a gangster. And he's like, oh, so can I do the whole thing? And he starts hitting his mate about, doesn't he, in the chest as he's reciting this bit of.
They also they spell Shakespeare wrong on the poster as well.
Oh, they did, yeah. Like, that's how you spell Shakespeare. What do you mean?
And I've got Slough related facts.
Oh,
I went on a Midsummer Night's Dream thing here.
Right.
So Midsummer Night's Dream from around 1595 or 1596. I don't know why I said around and then gave 2 years.
Approximately.
But one of Slough's most famous residents, William Herschel, there you go.
I thought it was David Brent.
He's up there too. So he was in Slough from 1786 to 1822. In 1787 he discovered 2 moons of Uranus. Yeah, and in 1852 his son John named them Oberon and Titania after characters from A Midsummer Night's Dream. I brought it back round.
There you go. Good work. Slough related stuff, not relating to how Football Manager sounds for once. June and Peter are playing chess when the Doctor arrives. The Doctor knows him. He's Peter Carter, the poet, and the Doctor likes his stuff. I don't have a lot of modern stuff in my collection, but I've got yours.
Front and centre.
All right.
I mean, we know he's all about Byron.
Yes, yeah, absolutely we do. Peter explains he studied at Oxford and that his sisters are wrens. And I was like, little birds, hollow bones.
I thought it was the brownies.
Like this?
The brownies.
Yeah. The brownies. The Wrens is the Women's Royal Naval Service, first formed in 1917 for the First World War. It was disbanded in 1919 and then revived again in 1939. I'm not entirely sure why it was disbanded at that time. I bought in, war. Remaining active until it integrated into the Royal Navy in 1993. Peter's 20. This is where we learn he's 27, and he was obviously 36 at this point. He was born in 1910. Was our favourite actor. The Doctor knows about his headaches and his eyes. The Doctor asks him to check what he can see in the periphery, far right and left. But he asks him to look at this woman, doesn't he? He's like, can you look straight forward and what do you see? Oh, I see a beautiful woman getting dressed. And just kind of like, okay, well keep looking that way. Well, this shouldn't be difficult. And kind of like, whoa, okay. And then he asks him to look right where he sees the fireplace. He asks him to look left. And he's kind of like, yeah, the windows and some red curtains probably, and it's like that. knowing look, and you can and then that comes to nothing. It comes to absolutely nout that. Not that we know of anyway, but the doctor knows what that means, but he won't tell us. He refuses to fucking tell us what that means. And so
for a film that tells you repeatedly what's happened at this point, an important plot point, decides, no, we don't need to know about that.
That's right. Again, opium den writing. It's the way forward. Peter explains he's been seeing the dandy, but that he actually believes he's there. He's also imagining a smell when he arrived previously. The smell of what?
They make you fart big time. Fried onions.
Fried onions make you fart. They absolutely do. Also, they kept on a little jar at the hot dog stand, aren't they? As we seem to learn all the time.
We know this.
The doctor explains that he's organised them to stay with him so he can get a closer look at the Frenchman. And it'd be good to have a nice girl around the house too. And you can, okay. And
of course,
it fucking smash cuts to the Doctor and June playing table tennis.
I know.
And he's drugged Peter in a chair.
Right,
he says, he's asleep, and he'll be asleep for a little while yet. And she's like,
he knows exactly.
I fucking drugged him.
He tells her exactly when he's going to wake up as well, which is I'm not sure that's how that works.
Give us time to do it twice, darling. Fucking hell.
I didn't see a point in doing table tennis facts considering Forrest Gump. We've done Hunter.
Yes, I also thought. Was it Forrest Gump we did with
We've done Waffle Waffle.
Oh,
they got the
Johnson
British champion to train them both to play.
But they were both shit.
Yeah,
like was the British champion shit at the time?
Well, probably. I think the game might have moved on a bit since then.
He'd gone to China, and he'd got his own face on his own paddles. I sent the money home to Mama. To Slough. These podcasts get worse when I've not had a drink. They really do. They seem worse when I'm recording them. The doctor explains that the hallucinations connected with the smell gives him an idea about what's going on, but he still refuses to tell us. They just don't know how he survived the jump. But the doctor says that they need to make sure he wins his case. We'll invent the greatest lie in medical history to make sure he wins. The greatest lie in medical history, of course, is that the NHS should be privatised. Is that private health insurance is worth the money. There you go, there's a fact. I'm writing that down. Foreign listeners. They get back to playing. They're just day drinking, like morning drinking, because it's like, I'll be asleep till 11. Would you like me to fix you a drink? And she's like, oh yes, please.
Pims, darling, Pims.
Knocking back the hard liquor at 10:30 in the morning. I wish. They get back to playing, and then they freeze, right? And at this point, I thought my internet was knackered.
I was expecting you to go rin and rin.
Yeah, I instantly hammered my iPad, thinking, what is going on here? I thought fucking ITVX player, which is the only place you can get it for free.
That's shit. I hate that player, man.
It's rotten. I say for free.
BritBox.
7-day trial. I'll have to cancel that.
Oh,
remember to cancel your 7-day trial, Joe.
Yeah, of course they had it already because of Doctor Who. It's got all the Doctor Who episodes.
Okay. Of course you did. Because of Love Island or something.
No.
Is that where he landed? That's where he landed. He landed on Love Island. They want him to go back, but he refuses, even though he's been voted off. Do you vote people off on that? I don't know how it works. Never watched a second of it. The bell doesn't ring. He goes to ring this bell that he's been given, but it doesn't ring. It's just silence. He runs out, and there they are, allegedly frozen in place, but doing a cracking job of breathing. It's like Arthur Fowler when he died on EastEnders. Arthur! He heads back in, and they're reading. Look, we've got a dog as well. And they're reading a book on chess. Is the Frenchman? He says, "I play with Philidor, the greatest chess player of all time." And then I forgot to look up Philidor. What? I think he was one of the chipmunks, wasn't he? Alvin Simon Philidor.
Philidor, aye.
Anybody get Philidor?
No. Is that a hat?
No, fuck that guy. I did lots of conflicts coming up, so that's quite good. So we'll keep it dry.
Aye.
He explains to Peter that he has the opportunity to argue his case in 3 days against this prosecutor, Abraham Farlam, who hates the English because he was killed by a British bullet in the Civil War.
Of course he was.
Something. Like the bullet was British, but the person that shot it wasn't? ?
Well, yeah, so when he mentions him, he says Lexington and Concord.
Yeah.
And apparently he knows his history as well as his poetry.
Oh.
Because the Lexington College Mob was the first major military campaign of the American Revolution.
Right.
It was, although nobody actually knows the name of the person who was shot with the first bullet.
Oh, okay.
Ralph Waldo Emerson described the first shot by the militia as the shot heard around the world. So that's where that phrase comes from as well.
All right.
Oh. The only thing I know about Ralph Waldo Emerson is we've got 8 floors on our building at work, and there's a poster in the stairwell between each floor telling you why you should walk up and down the stairs. 8 fucking floors to go and see my wife. You're all right. I'll just stay downstairs. I'll get the lift. Sorry, Rachel. And there's a thing on the wall that says health is the first wealth of Ralph Waldo Emerson. So I had no idea who he was until now. So there you go. More facts for me. I absolutely cannot do this podcast with a cat in front of my notes. Sorry, mate. You have to go down. That's not good. Oh, he's never going to.
At least he's no licking your face.
Oh, mate. The chance would be a fine thing.
That was too cute. I really was Gavin. Just see that wee face.
People watching online will see that.
Oh.
So if you're people watching will see that. Peter can pick anyone that ever lived as his counsel. Anyone at all. When the time writes itself, both the Doctor and June run in. Peter explains he can plead his case in 3 days with a counsel. The Doctor says, "I believe you, and I'm your counsel on Earth," which makes no sense whatsoever. At the Army Hospital, the Doctor arrives to talk to a surgeon. He suggests they should operate right away on Peter. This could cause actual insanity if they don't do it tonight, which is also the night of the trial, which I didn't really get at all, to make any sense. The Doctor believes everything that Peter is saying. So I assume he thinks that he believes what he's saying, right? Mm. And that if he has this operation now, that'll fix it all. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's just about to get more mental, listeners. Boy, is it. We're now in black and white. Peter in his pyjamas and the inspector on some stairs that are strangely moving upwards like an escalator past these massive statues of Plato, Abraham Lincoln,
everybody,
Margaret Thatcher, all the greats are there.
Jim Davidson, classic.
Roy Chubby Brown,
Royce and Vasey, big man, Royce and Vasey.
Jesus. Yeah.
Did you get what they called that escalator?
Oh, somewhere in my notes. Yeah, so you go for it if you've got it now. And
so it was Operation Ethel.
That's a great name.
It is 106 steps, each 20 feet wide,
wow.
and cost £5,000, which in today's money is £147,000.
What? Jesus God. Okay. Sure. I was going to say for this one scene, but we get a redux later on.
Oh,
we get 2 more uses of it.
If they pay for it, they may as well use it over and over.
Absolutely,
and over.
They might as well use it in every possible opportunity. Peter realises that the escalator is moving him closer to heaven and makes a run for it, being shouted at by the conductor. But it was all just a dream. He's also suggested that he wants an everyman from the current time to be his counsel, as he'll know of modern issues. The Doctor explains to June that the ambulance is 30 minutes late and she heads off to call the base. The Doctor tells Peter they'll find someone for the case and that they should put all the efforts into that. He suggests Bob, as Bob knows him. Bob's not the man for... Bob is not the man for this job.
What's Bob's argument's going to be? What ho?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't call me a hoe.
Yeah. And I'm full of shrapnel or something. June comes back in because of the storm. All the phones are down. So the Doctor heads out on his bike into the storm. And as we know, he's not the most careful of riders, is he? Peter tells June that Bob isn't the right man. Too operational. Conor Gallagher. The Doctor crashes his bike trying to avoid the ambulance. Oh, the irony. And for some reason he just instantly sets on fire.
Yep.
Like the bike goes up like it's been fucking... Yeah, it really does. I go, okay. It would have been better if he'd have just ended up on some barbed wire fence or something like Steve McQueen.
Aye, God aye.
In the ambulance, the medic explains to June that he died avoiding the ambulance, saving the ambulance, apparently. No, I don't think that's how motorbike and cars crashes work.
Selfless.
Yeah. June tells a barely conscious Peter that Frank's had an accident. He's dead, isn't he? What? Can you see the future now? What is this?
He knows all.
He does, yeah. They wheel him into this operating theatre and give him gas. This fucking horrifying model eyelid, which was so out of place. It's like something out of a fucking Dali painting, isn't it? I thought I was watching fucking Eyes Without a Face. You know what I mean? In the afterlife, Dr. Reeves meets with the dandy. He's still in his bike leathers too. Can you imagine dying and having to spend every day dressed like you're the baddie out of Fury Road? Fucking horrendous, isn't it? He speaks to the boss and she tells him he's been selected as Peter's counsel. Oh, I really hoped he would. Who else is he going to pick? Bob?
Also, that implies he knew he was going to die.
Well, no, maybe he's made that decision in
instantly.
Yeah, he's gone, well, I'm dead. I guess the best I can hope for is I'm going to be his counsel. Something.
Dead and loving it.
He asks to be taken to meet with Peter. During the operation, everything freezes, and the doctor catches up with Peter, who steps out of this thing again, dressed in fucking pyjamas or something.
He looks at himself in total disgust, though, didn't he? He looks and goes,
yeah.
Fucking hell.
I guess he's looking at his own brain, isn't he?
True.
He explains he believes in them, and they go over to June. The line is, her accent is foreign, but it sounds sweet to me. We were born thousands of miles apart, but we're meant to be together. I was like, may I kiss her? Yes, but she will not feel it. He's like, it's okay. Oh, those English, they don't care if they feel it. All right, mate. Fucking hell.
Calm down.
Now I get why they chopped your head off. And he kisses her, and they spot June has a single tear. And the doctor says, that's our evidence. We'll take that with us.
Grab that, put that in the flour.
He wipes her face with this flour, and they head to the hearing. This massive crowd, by the way, at this thing, is made up of servicemen, women, nurses, some Gurkhas, pirates, ? Neanderthal man? Entirely sure. All these people here.
All walks of life.
What is going on? The judge arrives, and I thought it was the butler out of Downton Abbey at first. It looks a bit like him. And they all stand. The judge explains why we're here, which is the story we've already heard 3 times.
Yeah.
We fucking know. Cut that bit out and, save us. Bring this in at 89 minutes, and I'm having a great time. Here comes the prosecution. It's this tricorn hat wearing fucking angry looking man. Jesus Christ. But here's where it gets good, right? I'm going to say. Here's where it goes all, you can't handle the truth, doesn't it? It really does. It's fucking fantastic. Like the Pelican Brief or something in this bit. And the doctor is, of course, the defence. But why are they stood on these massive rocks like the one off the beginning of The Lion King?
Aye.
Aren't they? They're doing the prosecution.
No idea.
Booming out there.
Aye. It's like Superman's lair, isn't it? Or the
He's a little bit. He's watching videos of Marlon Brando in some crystal.
My son.
We still got his fucking watch on.
Casio, for your pleasure.
Jesus. It's much better when it's a film we feel that we can take the piss out of. We've been sorry, Gavin.
Really nice. That's fine.
I know you bought this. I know you bought this in all fairness, and we're ruining it for you. But we never do stuff like this with The Thing, do we? No. The prosecution explains Peter has stolen time that he shouldn't have, and that the wartime flings really end in a lasting marriage. 1 in 10,000. I couldn't find any facts around this, so I'm just going to take that as a fact from this fucking ancient old tricorn hat man. He's got a right chip on his shoulder with the English, by the way. Apparently we're all bastards. Although that's what John says every week on this podcast, so I don't know what the difference is.
I'm siding with that guy.
The doctor asks where Farland's grandfather was born. England, and my grandfather left because he didn't like it, and he'd like it even less today. And to prove that point, he pulls out this transistor radio and starts playing some really boring cricket game from Lords, which I absolutely expected Henry Blofeld to be doing, going, and there's the 74 bus passing by, my dear old thing. And we've got a cake from Mrs. Thomas of 88 Hampstead Road. It's now a tip. Something. Absolutely. Like, that made me hate England, right? And I love cricket, and I love TMS. In response, the doc plays this fucking screeching Bye Bye Baby song that this guy is screaming on the radio. The song is called Shoo Shoo Baby. John, you didn't think we were going to get any songs, did you?
No, I'm surprised.
The song was made famous by the Andrews sisters, not to be confused with the Liver Salts, as they sang it in the 1943 film Three Cheers for the Boys. I don't know what boys. Maybe Carl Urban.
I was going to say that. Noir.
Yeah. Shoo Shoo Baby was a big hit for the trio in 1944, reaching number 2 in the USA.
Whoa.
Didn't chart where, John?
Oh, the Netherlands.
That's right.
I get it better.
Right. It's getting much. I've
been watching Dutch TV.
I bet you are.
Supporting the Dutch.
when you're washing your face in the morning, when you're having a shave, are you going?
Amsterdam. It's just Amsterdam.
Groningen! I don't know. The song was also an inspiration for the naming of the Shoo Shoo Baby, a B-17 flying fortress which served during World War II. This is a fact right out of your podcast, Gavin. The R&B girl group Mystique covered the song for the soundtrack of the Vanguard animation film Valiant in 2005.
No way.
Listeners, you know Valiant, but Gavin doesn't because he's shrugging. That's the cartoon wartime carrier pigeon
with
film.
With pigeons, is it?
Which I saw in theatres, listeners.
Is Ricky Gervais in it?
He probably is. Ewan McGregor's in it. Loads of other toffs are in it. And here is my fact of the episode, which is, if Dan's listening to this, he's going to get a kick out of this. It was the last track Mystique recorded before they split to pursue solo careers.
There you go.
So, fact of the episode, the Andrews sisters killed Mystique, question mark.
What one, the old one or the new one? I prefer the old one. Mystique.
Mystique, very good. Rebecca Roman Stamos.
Aye.
Yeah,
Pretty lady.
yeah, absolutely. Not really a fact, but I've also seen Mystique live, ladies and gentlemen.
What?
Mystique live at the to the Millennium Stadium. They were the opening act for the Rugby League Challenge Cup final in 2004 between Bradford and Leeds.
No
Mate,
way.
you couldn't make it up. You couldn't. But I was so pissed up on Hoegaarden, which is Dutch, not German. Is it Netherlands beer? I think it's Belgian. That I don't remember much about it. I remember the mouthy one shouting a lot.
Oh,
there you go. Anyway, man, I wish we were talking about Mystique.
No.
Yeah, well, Bradford won by 2 points. It was great. Anyway, he offers to bring up Keats and Shelley and other writers. Farland says he gets the doc's point. Back at the hospital, the surgeon looks concerned as June looks on. Like, he looks genuinely horrified by what he's doing. Like, just the eyes of this actor are great.
Aye.
And June just spends the last part of the film just standing there. That's all she does. For almost the last 40 minutes. Farland's line, and I love this. Should the vibrant humour of a young American girl be stifled in the pages of Punch? Should the swift tempo of her life be slowed to the crawl of a game of cricket? All right, you hate cricket, we get it. Okay, no. Is it John? Should her accustomed native comfort be forced to conform to England's warm drinks, cold rooms, drafty windows, smoky chimneys, and faulty plumbing? Fucking hell.
How about Dig, man?
The doc retorts with, 2 million homes have no windows at all, and frequently the roof and walls have gone with them. Sunak's Britain, innit?
Aye, that's where he went.
And that the question of Peter's character shouldn't be related to the history of the country. He recognises that the jury is made of different creeds, colours and nationalities that can't all hate England.
Yeah.
What a mistake and a maker.
I know.
We then get introduced to these lads, right, who it got to number 4 before I stopped looking them up because I realised they weren't real people, right? Because I just got loads of these named people on LinkedIn. Jean-Marie Barrelotte, French. And his line is, no century has passed without a war between England and France. I initially thought the 19th century, but no, I was wrong. Gregorius Jonas Bunt from Trensville, you fucking prawn. The Boer War, or in Afrikaans, Tweede Wereldoorlog, 1899 to 1902, was the British Empire versus the Zuid-African Republic and the Orange Free State. Reasons for that war, gentlemen, could you possibly guess?
No.
No.
Land and gold.
Oh,
what a shock.
Land and gold. It's a story as old as time.
So glad I didn't say what I was thinking.
Fucking prawns. Ivan Birdie, a Russian. The Crimean War was 1853 to 1856, and it wasn't just us on this one. An alliance between the British Empire, Sardinia, and the Ottoman Empire. I assume the only reason we won that is because of the footstools. Chiang Chi-ming from Peking. It no longer exists. England's attack on China in 1854. But before that, because it's England, 1839 and 1842, British Indian forces fought a war with Imperial China that served the interests of opium smugglers. Their resulting victory opened up for a lucrative Chinese trade to British merchants. Then, of course, there's this that they mentioned, which is known as the Second Opium War. 1856 to 1860. But here's the big thing. The USA were on our side for that one. So, why, John?
The always line
why,
is.
Gavin? Absolutely. As were the French. So Mr. fucking Jean-Marie Belleruc can get to fuck as well. The final two guys I can't really argue with. Rana Tejpali from the Punjab and James Moynihan. He's Irish. Yeah, okay. Hands up. You think it's bad now? Wait till the 70s. Yeah, that's the jury will always be prejudiced against England. Mate, watching this film and I'm prejudiced against England. We're just a right bunch of bastards. The Doctor asked for the jury to be picked from England as it's a true free nation, more so than America. And America, this line from the American guy: an American baby sucks in freedom from the milk of the breast of which he hangs.
No.
Which I don't really know. America is the only place where men are full grown, he says. And I've just written fat ? But I think I'd proof that that's not that case. The Americans in the seating love this until the Doctor shouts for an American jury of all walks of life, and they all love that as well. And he wants those that stood hand in hand with us in a battle this century. He's pleading for the rights of the individual against the system. He asks for a new jury of American citizens, and Farland accepts. The next lot are proper stereotypes. A French chef, a Dutch airman, a Russian soldier, a Chinese student, a black private, and some commander bloke. And after saying who they are, they always go, an American citizen, even though the fact only like 2 of them have got American accents.
Also, the black guy isn't black, which is slightly problematic.
Oh no! I gotta be honest. I think I was busy writing names down at this point.
I wasn't technical on that one, was it?
Jesus Christ!
Jeez.
Absolutely no need.
Was it Rude Hullet?
Jesus, topical. It's a very topical. Was it David Baddiel? Still not forgiven David Baddiel for that. As Gavin, as you know, we've had this conversation a lot of times. Yeah, I will never forgive him for what he did, Jason Lee. Prick. So, the Doctor first says that the mistake was made higher up and that they've fallen in love, and this will give them a chance to make for a better tomorrow. The jury asked for a chance to hear from Peter and June. So for some reason, they all fuck off down the escalator steps.
Aye. Or them.
Like that, dun 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 down the steps. And they're watching the surgery in real time because the because they're perverts or something.
Yeah.
So what's going on? It's really, really weird. They call Peter to the court, and for some reason, Peter's now dressed like he's back on the plane, in spite of the fact that he's been in this situation and he hasn't been dressed like an airman. I don't. The American guy says, "Your smile is not unattractive. Did you use it to enamour this American lady?" He goes, I'm sorry, you're going to have to say that again. I didn't quite catch it, but you did say enamoured. Which I was kind of like, yes! Yes, I like that a lot. Peter asks for 50 years to prove his love. Would you die for her? I would, but I'd rather live. The doctor has no questions for Peter, so they call June. She tells the court she was born in Boston. How can you love him? You hardly know him. There's no sense in love. Can you prove you love him? Would you be willing to die for him? Yes. Would you take his place? Yes. Peter's furious. You've got no right to ask that. Well, then it's contempt of court. I'll have you committed for contempt. By this attitude, you've forfeited your opportunity. He's like, okay, but don't take June as well. Oh, cool drama. And we've got like 4 minutes left here. It's all fucking wrapped up very quickly.
It really is.
The doctor tells her that she needs to take Peter's place. Do you trust me? Yes, just fucking do it. She agrees. I assumed this was so that he could have some pervy love ending with her.
I thought
in heaven. I was like that.
They were going to let him walk. They were going to let him walk because he was going to let him. Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like, oh, you want to get in her camera obscura, don't you?
I know, huh?
She agrees. It's the only way. They freeze Peter. And then the staircase starts off, strangely with this really jaunty tune that doesn't fit. It's like dun 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 dun. At Farland, nothing is stronger in the law than law in the universe. And the doctor says, "Yes, Mr. Farland, but on Earth, it's love that is the strongest." And then for some reason, the stair escalator stops, and June runs down the stairs to Peter.
Yeah.
The jury find in favour? ? I don't know what happened, but because the escalator broke down,
Love conquers all.
and they realised they got to fucking walk.
No.
We better find early because we've got a long way to get home. And Peter and the judge gives an unallotted number of years' life, but we don't get to see it. It's just written on a bit of paper.
Generous.
That's
generous.
Well, that seems a bit much, doesn't it? What's he going to live to like? He's Yoda when 800 years old you are. But the thing is, she's dead at 94, and he's going to be 800. Sat there like the soldier in the Soldier and Death story from the Storyteller in the 80s. No. Anybody? Let me know if I'm not making that up. We fade to the surgery. It was a success. And they're just putting a bit of cotton wool on his head. As Julie's unpacking Peter's bag, it has that My Best Games of Chess book in his pocket. But the book is fucking massive and the pocket's tiny. I'm sure she rips the... How they got that in there? I assume they just pushed it through the bottom. It's a fake pocket. Peter wakes up and sees June. Hello. We won. I know, darling. That's it, and that's the film. The movie's over. I still don't know what's happening. Which is good. But we all had a good time. There's no doubt about that. Gavin, any more facts?
Just a few.
Are any of them about Mystique?
No, unfortunately not. But the cricket commentary,
yes.
He mentions a crowd of 50,000.
He does, Lords. I thought, fucking hell, that's quite a crowd.
There's no ground in England that can hold 50,000.
What? Another lie?
Another lie.
Why must TMS lie to us?
I had about how he jumped from the plane without a parachute. Vesna Vulovic was a flight attendant who fell 33,338 feet in 1972 after a bombing. She fractured her skull, broke 3 vertebrae, broke both legs, some ribs, and fractured her pelvis and survived.
Right. I think I'd
so she holds the record for highest free fall without a parachute.
Fucking hell.
What else have I got? The strange smell thing. Strange smell can be a sign of a brain tumour in the temporal lobe. Which could lead to a sensation of strange smell. It can also cause people to see something that isn't there. So that's where the conductor thing comes in as well.
Like carbon monoxide poison as well. That's exactly the same.
And it was the first ever royal film performance.
Oh, wow.
It raised £30,000 for some
For a new crown.
some actory type charity,
okay.
which is equivalent of 1,470,000 now.
Fucking hell.
Jesus.
It had a total cost of £320,000, which is the equivalent of 15.6 million now.
Wow.
Yeah.
All went on that escalator, didn't it?
Quite a lot went on that escalator. And it wasn't known as a matter of life and death in America because it had the term death in, and they didn't think that would sell. So it was known as Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Oh, I thought it was Highway to Heaven. I was just about to go all the way. Did they Michael Landon on you?
Michael Landon. Yeah. Good night, John
I think
Boy.
that's all I've got.
Okay. Speaking of good night, John Boy.
Powell and Pressburger's production company, The Archers, was founded in 1939, but it's defunct in 1957. And I only know that because I was looking for films after 1957. Thought, why isn't there other films after 1957? Here we go. The phrase pea soup fog is believed to originate in London in 19th century. Refers to a thick, dense fog. United Kingdom, you're allowed to carry a hip flask in public, which suggests to me that you're allowed to drink out in public, even though you're not allowed to drink in public, so I don't know how that works. So I'm going to get myself a hip flask. William Pitt the Elder was a dominant British politician in the middle 18th century, and he was only Prime Minister for 2 years, so he wasn't that fucking dominant then, was he? I found that
Lord Palmerston is my favourite historical British Prime Minister, not Pitt the Elder.
That 100 Master Games of Modern Chess, you can pick up on eBay for $24. So we got a copy.
All right, okay.
And it's a small copy though. It's not the massive.
It's not one you can actually fit in a pocket, is it?
Pretty much,
right, okay, that's handy. Yeah.
And finally, Plato simply died in his sleep. I just wanted to know how he died.
All right. Okay.
That book of My Greatest Games of Chess, there's a whole. He wrote a series. Going years by years. So, I mean, who's going to want to read that?
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know what the chess pieces are called. One's a prawn.
Yeah. The other one's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, there you go. That's it.
Yeah.
Right, so Powell and Pressburger, 24 films between 1939 and 1972, mainly derived from original stories by Pressburger, with scripts written by Pressburger and Powell. In 1981, Powell and Pressburger were recognised for their contributions to British cinema with the BAFTA Academy Fellowship Award. You've done the delayed 9 months Technicolor film. The inspiration for Peter's medical condition came from the semi-autobiographical novel A Journey Around My Skull, which doesn't fit in a pocket, by Hungarian novelist Frigyes Karathy. Honestly, that's what that says. More precise medical detail came from Pressburger's research in the British Library and consultations with Michael Powell's brother-in-law, Dr. Joe Reedy, who was a plastic surgeon in London and would obviously know fucking loads about brains.
Hell yeah.
Right, that is...
I was going to say, I've remembered two more things.
Oh, go for it.
And I get the feeling we might need them. The two bars on June's uniform suggest she's been working overseas for at least a year.
Yeah.
And the escalator thing was used in one of the Bill and Ted films, and they had statues of Powell and Pressburger on.
Oh, fuck off! In the second, because they got Heaven. There was a bit where they're in the court bit of Heaven, and I thought Bill and Ted, and I didn't even looking that up because, of course, why not? Fucking hell! There's the fuck Mystique. There's the fact of the episode. Wow, well done, that man. Right, I'm going to count them up. Gavin, do you want to guess?
80.
Okay, John, can you go higher than 80? I'm just going to count these again because I'm not sure.
100.
Inexplicably, absolutely inexplicably, 100. And because we're getting this on video, I'm going to fucking hold that up, right? Video people can look. Because I can't fucking believe it either. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100. I'm counting that right, am I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I've counted it 5 times now. Jesus Christ. Yeah, fantastic
I didn't see that coming. I really didn't.
I mean, at the start of the day, I'd got like 10 things. So it took some work. Anyway, Gavin, thank you so much for bringing that. Tell us once again where we can find your stuff.
Be There With Belson, out every Monday. Be There With Belson on most of the social media stuff. On X, we're just There With Belson because Be There With Belson is too long.
What?
I know, outrageous.
You can do us a favour and you can promote this podcast on X because we don't do it anymore.
We're not on X anymore.
I mean, we are X. We are X. Yeah,
excommunicated.
Indeed, yeah. Unless someone wants to give me one of them massive wanker wagons that keep crashing and keep getting dragged back into. I'll have one of them for free. John, any further messages for the fantastic listeners?
Yeah, just a reminder of the 17th of August. I've got all my preparations done, so I'm definitely going to be there. I actually got the last minute preparations done, so...
Last minute preparations? Oh, yeah. I don't know what those are, so I'm quite excited.
I can tell somebody watching my dogs for a couple of days.
Oh, right, okay.
I managed to get somebody. So. Whoop, whoop.
That's less exciting, but okay.
Yeah,
but you couldn't have bought them here, of course.
Well, true.
The cats would have murdered them.
Oh, they would have as well. Poobie things. Aye. So 17th of August, be there or be L7, which is a square, if you did it right.
It is, yeah. Well remembered.
Even done it for the gram.
You did for the intranets. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, give us a quid and you'll get the chance to go on the spinny wheel thing, which we're going to do very, very soon. But I've got to mention the people that pay us the monies for this. Again, you're going to get a chance to do this. Our latest patron, John, you missed it because I threw it on the end of the podcast when I edited it the other week. So I guess I'll do the ba-ba-ba, we got a new podcast listener. Lee Davis, thank you very much. Lee Davies, not Davis, Lee Davies, thank you very much for your money. Dean, of course, our darling friend, friend of all of us, Dean. Yeah, absolutely. Friend of everybody. Candy, Oodles, Biggie, Stig, and Gadget. Sorry, it's been a day. From Modern Escapism, lovely Kieran Cunningham, Jake, lovely Rob Jones, again, another close friend of all of us. Jen and Adam, Megan, Dale and Ali, Maria, Paul Parks of SP Film Viewers, Ian McComish, who's just confirmed he's coming to the live show. Emily Vint, happy birthday, Emily! It's her birthday today. Nigel Davis, who will be selling gear for us at the show. Not that kind of show, but yes, absolutely, merch. Dan Belson, whoever the fuck he is. Aaron from Z1 Podcast. Joseph Higgins of Hallmark of Greatness, where we recorded with the fantastic Pat Vale this week. Musician, Welshman, New Jersey living nighttime ghost man. I don't know if there are any pictures exist, listeners, but if you manage to get a screenshot or anything, you've got a picture of Pat and he's got his mask on and I'm like, what does he look like? We'll never know. And sunglasses on inside. He's so cool. Yeah, his music's very good. It's all on Spotify. Mono from Mono Rants the Boys, which is back. Ian Graham from Cult Connections. Gavin Belson, thank you, sir. Lovely Josh Wilson, who's our other very dear friend. Rachel and Phil, thank you so much for your support. The lovely things you say means even more than the money, but we also love the money.
That helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Gavin, thank you so much for bringing that, because I don't think we've laughed as much in a podcast for a while, have we? It's been very good, and yeah, it is what it is. So, thank you so much, listeners. Thank you for your time. We'll be back at some point. I have very little doubt about that. With something more. Watch the Patreon space, by the way, to find out who's the next person to be picked. We will be reaching out to you very, very soon. Let's see if we can get whatever nonsense you want us to watch in nice and early. But for now, he's been Gavin and he's been John, and I've been Planty, and this has been an inexplicable 100 things we learned from Stairway to Heaven? ? See ya.
See you guys.
Bye.
Hello everyone, Planty and John here.
Hi guys, we've got a massive announcement to make. We're doing our first live show this year. What films are we talking about?
2001's Shrek, John. The OG.
Ah, the OG. R.E.
Very good. Yes, indeed. It's an all-ages show at Carlisle Megacon on August 17th, which is Carlisle's premier nerd gathering with over 40 stalls, gaming, cosplay, and really handsome podcasters.
Do I have to watch my language then?
Nah, it's fine, mate. There'll be other Scottish people there. We'll get subtitles for the English.
That's Megacon at Richard Rose Academy, Carlisle, on the 17th of August from 12 noon. It's £5 a ticket, and that includes seeing Beautiful Us.
And my brilliant Scottish accent. Ach, donkey!
Aye, right. Jesus Christ.